No, I've never met Mark. I've had, I think, one or two conversations with him on the telephone. I like Mark. I don't have any problems with Mark. I think one of the conversations that we had was in regards to, and this is actually, I'm really glad you asked this, because this is something that I think is really fucking important. I'm glad you asked this, because it brought back this memory. He wrote an article, and I know who it's for, but I'm not going to say who it was for, because he probably wouldn't want me to say that. But he wrote an article on the deadlift, and he did a lot of looking into the deadlift and a lot of, research in the deadlift in regards to the shoulder position of the deadlift and so forth. And he saw that I posted a piece where I said that the shoulders need to be behind the bar when you deadlift, and he disagreed with that. And so he wanted to call, and he sent me the article, and I read through the article, and we kind of talked it out, because, he wanted to kind of know where I was coming from, and to be honest, I really didn't know who he was. And I read the article, and I completely knew where he was coming from. So, I wanted to talk to him, because it was really enlightening, because when it really was all said and done, we were saying exactly the same thing. It's just, I realized that the verbal cueing that I was giving and what I was writing, or basically what I was writing, was based upon verbal cueing that I would give somebody in the gym. No, I was not trying to make sure that their entire shoulder was behind the bar when they pulled. Did I want to try to make sure that the shoulder joint was in line or slightly in front, very, very close to the bar? Most definitely. But some people got big fucking delts. So, with what I was saying was based upon, verbal cueing of teaching people how to deadlift and show them how to deadlift for years and years and years and years. And then you start writing, so you're changing the way that you're putting the message out. And a lot of that gets misconstrued, because to me it sounded normal, because that's what I've always said, until you look at it, and he had the diagrams, and I'm like, well, yeah, this fucking makes total sense. It's leverages and all the other kind of stuff. So there was no disagreement. That's the conversations that I think that a lot of coaches today are not having, because they're going to find that, yes, we'll probably disagree on 5 or 10%, some irrelevant fucking amount, right? Just because of our own personal biases and what we've seen work with athletes that we've worked with and ourselves over the years. That's going to happen in any industry. But when you sit down, and even if you discuss where those come from, then you can typically see where the other person's coming from, and then where you come from, and basically agree to disagree, and that it both fucking works. And not get caught up in a big fucking piss fest of trying to make assumptions on where the other person's coming from, because you completely forget. Anybody that's been around for a long time, a very long time, working with athletes for a long time, fucking knows what they're doing. If you disagree or not, they blasted the test of time, and you know what? That matters. That nobody lasts the test of time in this industry if they suck. It doesn't happen. The other thing that I look at is how many people are in this fucking industry, and this is going to go into a rant, but how many people are in this fucking industry and only got in the industry after they had a product or service to produce? It's like, yes, now they're fucking Insta famous, or now they're YouTube famous, or now they're whatever social media famous, because they have something to fucking sell. Let me see the person that's been out answering questions, working in the field, working in a gym, answering questions online, helping people online, writing articles and, whatever it is for 5, 10 fucking years, then put a product out. Because what that tells me, above anything else, the fucking person gives a shit and they care. So forget about what they know about training. If they've been out there helping people, for free, passing on what they know for free for years, and then put out a product, they fucking care about people. The people that fucking only start helping people because they have a product don't give a fuck about the person. They only care about the money. Because if the product doesn't fucking sell, they're not going to be helping people anymore. They're not going to be on Instagram anymore. They're not going to be on any of these other platforms anymore unless it's to satisfy their own ego and not a financial type of situation. You know, Mark's another person that's been out there for fucking years. So is there things that he probably disagrees with me on? Yes. Me, him, yes. Do either of us really give a fuck? No. So why should you?